The boat to Menethil Harbour was a one-way ticket to death.
If you went to Menethil Harbour, you were corpse walking.
Being able to see their reaction to me killing them was the goal. I wanted that notoriety. I wanted to be feared.
For millions of players, the virtual world of Azeroth is an escape. A massively multiplayer role-playing game where you fight demons and dragons with your friends. But for 4 months in 2005, World of Warcraft's bustling Dethicus server wasn't a friendly reprieve from the outside world. It was a hunting ground. The terror of Menethil Harbour.
Folks lately call me Witchfinger. Back then, I was Harley Davis, the erotic fiction troll king of World of Warcraft, and I was basically in the troll mafia that ran Dethicus, and I was in a guild with Doc Master Angwe in the early part of Vanilla WoW. In original Vanilla WoW, there was not a lot of instancing. There was basically 2 continents. And in order to rotate between one continent and the next continent, Kalimdor and Eastern Kingdoms, you had to physically walk onto a dock where you would catch either a zeppelin or a boat. What Angwe was famous for was he parked his character, which was a level 60 orc rogue, in Menethil Harbour, which is a level 30 Alliance leveling zone, and he killed everyone that tried to get on the boat to another continent.
I'm Angwe, and I killed over 10,000 players in World of Warcraft. I ganked people in Menethil Harbour for about 4 months. I did it constantly, and I was a orc rogue. It was very easy to get away from people. They had some of the hardest hitting melee attacks in the game. It was a griefer's dream. If you want to kill people in a video game, you don't want to be seen, you want to be able to get away, and you want to be able to deal a lot of damage really fast. The reason I was killing a lot of people in Menethil was because I was trying to recreate something that I'd seen in EverQuest. You saw them coming and you were scared. I mean, you did not want to die to these people. I wanted that notoriety. I wanted to be feared. People had to come to me, and they didn't really have very many options of where they could go. I mean, it was literally a small dock that they had to walk across and get onto a boat that's a confined space. Menethil was just like the right combination of lack of guards and tricky spots that I could get away from people if I absolutely had to. You kill people, maybe 10 a day, and that was a good day. And maybe one of them would get really upset, and that was a better gank.
Ganking, the act of killing other players, especially when they're below your level or not wanting to fight, is a controversial tradition in World of Warcraft. But Angwe's dedication to it bordered on obsessiveness, and it quickly turned him into a living nightmare on his server.
I just killed people on the docks.
I absolutely hate you, Angwe. You are a nerd and have absolutely no life. Hell, you probably live in your mum's basement.
Angwe made people's lives hell. His ability to shut down Menethil Harbour for 4 months turned him into one of World of Warcraft's biggest anti-heroes.
Back in vanilla World of Warcraft, back in the good old days, I was Squig, a human rogue, on the Dethicus server. Early on when I was leveling before I became part of the Dethicus culture, he was certainly a nuisance. The boat to Menethil Harbour was a one-way ticket to death. He knew everything. Since he was a rogue, he had stealth, he knew where you could hide, he knew where you could run, he knew how he could get off the boat, he knew where you were going to respawn, he knew where he was going to respawn. That was probably the first time I ran into him, because he definitely camped that boat.
But just because you got to the boat didn't mean you were safe.
The boat had a couple of different spots where you could go on the insides of it and you could go up on top of it and whatnot.
One of my favorite things that I could do if somebody that was trying to be sneaky to get on the boat, and I could just stealth onto the boat. We're out in the water. They think they're safe. They're hiding in a corner, and then I just kill them all real quick. And I could take down like 4 or 5 low-level people before I needed to jump off the boat.
And so what you would have to do is you would have to go to the graveyard and you would have to graveyard respawn. This would cost durability, and this would also make your run back to Menethil Harbour a bit longer.
Then if they stayed on the boat when it zoned, they would end up at their graveyard with 1 health, and then I'm already there. And I could sit there and kill them as many times as I wanted at that point. I think it was really frustrating for them because, I mean, they told me, but it was a lot of fun. Like it was genuine glee a lot of the time.
The guy was legitimately a masterclass multiple opponent rogue.
He had stealth, he had stuns, he had blinds, he had everything in his toolbox, and he knew how to use every single one of them to make sure he accomplished his goal.
What made Angwe exceptional was his dedication to his craft. He turned it into a science, one that sent many players over the edge.
When you play a character up to like level 60, it's a pretty big time investment that you're putting into this. And then to have your character just get completely massacred repeatedly, I think it can be hard to keep your cool, I guess. And I find it fun.
Personally, he probably only killed me 3 or 4 times, so I tried to avoid it as best I could. After a while, once I realized that Angwe was peak Deathicus, hey, this is kind of fun. I totally get what this dude's doing.
Being a troll guild, of course we loved him. People would come on the forums and go, Angwe, I got ganked by this level 60 rogue named Angwe, and your pain is wine to us. It's like this delicious beer.
Ruthlessly killing players for 8 hours a day made him a terror, but that's not what made Angwe famous.
So Angwe and I met. We were both teenagers, and we ended up being guilded together. We were on a horribly boring raid, and we just started talking, and we hit it off very quickly. The things that we were doing in World of Warcraft, or that he was doing in World of Warcraft, never seemed like a big deal to me. Killing people in Menethil, like, it was a fun prank. I don't know, it seems fine, but people are really upset.
So we had this alt account named Angwe Spy that was literally sitting on a tree stump in Menethil Harbour that was recording all the complaints, everything everybody said whenever he would kill them.
And I would kind of edge people on and tell them that they should complain about Angwe, knowing that he was probably going to capture all of that and post it on his website.
That was even more fun because now he could actually get the hate mail. You were throwing gasoline on a fire.
I set up a website where I hosted screenshots of people that had ganked, mainly hate tells and nasty comments. I feel like the screenshots were trophies. It showed how good I was doing at my job, I guess.
Hey, Angwe, go suck. Poor Angwe, insecure little boy who has to take it out in a game. You really need a life. Stupid Angwe.
The website just kept growing and growing and growing, and I was doing weekly updates with my wife Nicole.
You know, the website took a lot of time. It was a huge undertaking to launch this every week and get something live.
He was this absolutely normal dude living a normal life with this girlfriend, and his goals were beyond your understanding.
Angwe had extraordinary talent for getting under people's skin.
Yeah, Angwe hit us from both sides. He hit us in game, and then he would troll the forums and let everybody know that he was hitting us in game and that there was nothing we could do about it.
Well, I really hope you die a painful death, preferably in flames, and all of your family goes with you, and your line stops for good with you.
The website is what really elevated Angwe above the everyday trolls in World of Warcraft. It was just so funny seeing how he could get such a rise out of people and all of the hate and vitriol that was directed towards them.
I sympathized with a lot of the victims. I was like, they're just having a bad day. Just like, let them go. You did your thing. People got kind of nasty though, and at that point my empathy kind of goes away.
I was killing random lobies, and I don't know what level this guy was, but he was very upset, and he was letting me know that he didn't like it. Eventually, I got a message from his kid saying, I'm sorry my dad is being such a jerk or something like that. Like, he seemed to get it, and I totally told the dad. And from my perspective, it's like, I'm playing a video game where part of the game is that you get to kill each other. Like, it's a PvP server. Like, you have an option where you don't get killed, and you're choosing to go on this one where you do get killed, and then getting upset because you're getting killed. And in hindsight, I feel bad about it. Like, I have kids now, but I never saw him again, and I don't think that kid, I'm sure that was not a fun time for him.
I think one of the big things that is really interesting about him in his entire story is that there's a duality of two different people. In the game, he has one personality. In real life, he's another, and he can separate them. Those traits that you play in game don't always come out in IRL. Honestly, it's socially acceptable in my eyes for him to be able to do this. Yes, it's going to piss off some people, and he's probably over there just laughing, being like, yeah, that sucks for you, man. I'm going to keep doing it, though, because to me, it brings me joy.
At some point, somebody found out that they could get my name, or what they thought was my name, and my address and my phone number from DNS on the website. I mean, it's a little creepy.
I remember it being like, oh wow, like this is getting serious. Like, are they actually gonna do something about this, or are they just trying to intimidate us? And so, you know, it seemed like the less attention we gave it, the faster it went away.
As Angwe's reign of terror continued each and every day for those 4 months, he only became more notorious, while other players would often challenge him, and even sometimes win. No one could permanently stop his killing spree.
At some point, I got a message from just a random person in the guild. He's like, hey, somebody wrote a guide on how to get around you. And I wanted the guide really bad. So I leveled up a character and then got into their guild, got forum access, and then got the guide. And it was a full-on guide on how to stop me from killing them. And it's like the most flattering thing. Somebody took the time to think up all these different tactics on how to get around me. Once I got them, I pretty much just tried to make it as invalid as possible. And that was probably my most prized possession, other than my daughters now.
That guide is really indicative of Angwes' influence on Deathicus. He was more than just another player. He became this raid boss that required the coordination of entire guilds in order to take down. No one else has really ever done that before or since.
But at the height of his infamy, Angwe had a revelation.
I wasn't doing well in community college. All my friends that I used to play with, they were all going to school, or they were having families. I didn't really know what to do with my life, I guess. I didn't want to play video games all my whole life.
You really need a life.
When it was over, it was almost like a relief of like, I don't have to live up to those expectations anymore.
So it kind of got down to where like, do I want to do this thing I don't enjoy, or do I want to go try to, go to school? I went to college. I got a degree in game art and design. I became a computer programmer. I worked at a few game companies. And then I started a family, and now I take care of kids full time. So I kind of get griefed by them now.
Long after Angwe quit World of Warcraft, his legacy spread and lived on. Cracked.com awarded him the #1 move in an online game, while in YouTube videos and forums and Reddit threads, players retold Angwe's story again and again.
Angwe's story really harkens back to a time when World of Warcraft was just much more social. And I think players really crave that kind of freedom to write their own legacy, and that's why Angwe's story has endured.
I don't know. I don't think that game exists anymore. The gaming culture has changed so much that I don't know that you'd even be able to recreate the same thing again.
The best part about World of Warcraft to me was always the people. The community changed.
I beat the game. I made friends. That's really what MMOs like should be. That's what they are about. And if your MMO's not about that, then your MMO sucks. That's really all there is to it.
I think that's where a lot of the really good player stories come from, is that player interaction, and it's something that's mostly gone from games currently, and I think World of Warcraft was kind of the start of that. After I quit, I missed it a lot. Like I was like, this was a lot of fun. I could see doing it again. I'm kind of looking forward to, killing people.